Today, we are not just talking about a man, we are talking about the unyielding architecture of human will. They say that records are made to be broken, but a spirit is meant to be forged in the hottest fires of adversity. This is the story of Larry Wheels Williams, a man who transformed from a child of volatility into a global icon of strength, not just by lifting weights, but by confronting the heavy truth of his own existence. The concrete foundation, survival in the Bronx. Before there were millions of eyes watching his every lift, there was only the cold reality of the Bronx. Born into extreme poverty and domestic instability, Larry's early years were not defined by trophies, but by survival. He spent time in foster care and navigated high-risk neighborhoods where physical vulnerability was a danger to his very life. In these shadows, Larry developed what experts call defensive hypertrophy. He didn't start training to be a champion. He started training to become a fortress so that no one would ever dare bully him again. When he was 12, living in St. Martin, he didn't have access to a fancy gym. Age restrictions kept him out of local facilities, but a warrior doesn't need a membership to find their strength. Alongside his mother, he engineered his first weight set, 2 40-pound concrete blocks tethered to a broomstick. Day after day, he performed hundreds of push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups. It wasn't pretty. He had to swing those cinder blocks just to complete a rep. But that raw, unpolished effort laid the neuromuscular efficiency that would one day move nearly a ton of iron. Your circumstances do not define your ceiling, they define your starting line. The ascent, shattering the impossible. By the time Larry returned to New York at 17 and secured his first real gym membership, his baseline was already abnormal. He realized very quickly that he was at the apex of his local training environment. This realization shifted his focus from defensive mass to the world of competitive powerlifting. Larry didn't just enter the sport, he dismantled it. At just 18 years old, he posted a staggering 1,810-pound total. By 2017, he was setting world records in the 242-pound class. But his zenith, the moment he etched his name into history, came at the 2020 Arnold Sports Festival. Competing in the 308-pound class, Larry achieved a 2,370-pound total. Think about the precision required for greatness. He broke the existing world record by a mere 0.1 pounds. To put that in perspective, he bested the previous legend by the weight of an empty aluminum soda can. That is the margin between being a participant and being the all-time world record holder. Larry proved that in the world of the warrior, every single ounce of effort counts. The cost of the crown, transparency, and truth. However, the path to the top is often paved with internal demons. Larry Wheels has become perhaps more influential for his radical honesty than for his lifts. In an industry plagued by fake naturals, Larry chose the harder path, the truth. He admitted to using anabolic steroids since he was 17, describing his early use as a vice meant to replace previous addictions. But the iron always demands its price. Larry faced the severe side effects of abuse, depression, lethargy, loss of appetite, and a body that had stopped producing what it needed to survive naturally. In 2022, he made a life-altering decision. He chose longevity over ego. He stepped away from recreational steroid use and transitioned to medically supervised testosterone replacement therapy, TRT. He admitted that his body could no longer produce testosterone on its own after a decade of suppression. He prioritized his health, his marriage, and his business, even if it meant losing the superhuman strength that had become his identity. Larry showed us that true strength isn't just about what you can lift. It's about the courage to admit when you're broken. The warrior's relapse, facing the mirror. But even the strongest warriors stumble. In 2024, Larry publicly confessed to a relapse. Faced with professional stress and the fear of losing relevance in a high-attrition digital age, he returned to a full steroid cycle in a panic mode attempt to save his brand. He didn't hide it. He called his own decision cowardly. He admitted he was afraid of not being Larry Wheels anymore and instead being Larry Williams, the businessman. This moment of vulnerability is where the real motivation lies. Being a warrior doesn't mean you never fall. It means you refuse to stay down. Larry pulled out of planned shows, refocused on his health, and returned to a managed TRT protocol, proving that integrity is worth more than any trophy. The pivot from power to aesthetic mastery. A warrior is never one-dimensional. Larry refused to be categorized by a single discipline. He ventured into strongman, competing in the cinematic strength wars, and moved into the technical world of arm wrestling. Even when he suffered defeats, like his high-profile match against Big Ramy or his battles against Brandon Allen, he didn't quit. He learned that absolute strength does not always equate to technical endurance. He trained in Dubai with the world's elite, focusing on the toprol and the hook, proving that the mind must be as sharp as the body is strong. Then came the transition to bodybuilding. In 2025, Larry finally achieved a dream that many doubted was possible. He earned his IFBB Pro card in the classic physique division. Remarkably, he secured this victory after only 6 weeks of dedicated preparation. But even in victory, Larry was searching for more. He realized that to make the weight cap for classic physique, he had to endure extreme caloric deficits, consuming as little as 1,000 calories a day for months. He said this took all the fun out of lifting and made him look too thin for his massive skeletal frame. A warrior must know when to pivot. 2026, the new frontier. Now in 2026, Larry is embarking on his most ambitious journey yet, the move to the men's open division. By removing the weight restrictions, he is finally allowing his body to reach its full potential. He is currently in an aggressive bulk, with a goal of stepping onto the stage weighing 300 plus pounds. This isn't about vanity, it's about a sense of purpose. Larry stated that his objective isn't necessarily to be the next Mr. Olympia, but to have a reason to train and to see noticeable improvement every time he steps under the lights. He is targeting the 2026 Arnold Classic, potentially facing off against rising stars like Sam Sulek in a matchup that has the entire fitness world on edge. The Warrior's Code, lessons for your journey. Larry Wheels occupies a space that transcends sport. He is a central figure in the discourse on strength, pharmacology, and digital branding. But most importantly, he is a beacon of resilience. His commercial ecosystem through PR Lifestyle empowers others to chase their own personal records with the right gear and training programs. As we look at his journey, what can we take into our own battles? Use your adversity as fuel. Larry's makeshift concrete weights were the foundation of a world record. Don't wait for the perfect conditions, create them. Honesty is the ultimate currency. In a world of filters and lies, the truth is your greatest strength. By documenting his struggles with steroid abuse and business-related panic, Larry built a level of trust that no trophy could ever provide. Know when to change course, whether it was quitting powerlifting due to injury or moving to men's open to reclaim the joy of lifting. Larry showed that evolution is necessary for longevity. Find your why. Larry's goal is a sense of purpose. If you aren't excited by the grind, you won't survive the prep. Final call to action. Warriors, Larry Wheels is a jack of all trades who has mastered the most difficult skill of all, the ability to remain relevant and resilient in a high attrition industry. He is no longer just a powerlifter from the Bronx. He is a testament to the fact that you can fall, you can fail, and you can even relapse. But as long as you have the courage to face the mirror and get back to work, your story isn't over. As Larry heads toward his 300-pound stage debut at the 2026 Arnold Classic, he reminds us all that greatness isn't a destination. It's the relentless pursuit of your own personal record. What is the weight holding you back today?